Greetings, one and all, and welcome to this lesson on vectors. Now, in a previous video, we considered this problem, right? And we saw that EP, in that previous video, we saw that EP was actually equal to, we saw that EP, and by the way, if you haven't watched that video, if you haven't watched that video, look at the you can look at the playlist, and the video would be before this one. Okay, so this is part two. The first one is part one, and in part one we considered what EP was. We saw that EP, right, the vector EP was equal to half of was equal to negative a half of b minus a. In that video, we saw that EP was equal to negative a half of b minus a. And we can see that because notice that this is EP right here, and EP is, the line segment EP is half of PS, right? The line segment EP is half of PS because E is the midpoint, E is the middle, all right? And because we're going in the negative direction, because we're going in the opposite direction, we have the negative. So EP is actually half of, negative a half of, sorry, the vector EP is equal to negative a half of B minus A. Okay, so SR, we also saw that SR, in that video, we saw that SR, the vector SR, is equal to, if you have not seen that video and you need assistance, please consider watching that video to get a more in-depth explanation. We saw in that video, we saw that SR was equal to 2A. Okay, we saw that SR was equal to 2A. Okay, so SR is equal to 2A. So let's insert that in our diagram. So SR is 2A bar, and EP is negative a half of B minus A. Okay, so with that in mind, let us consider ER. So ER, in the previous video, we considered this and we considered this. I began to do ER, but I didn't finish. And so let us consider what ER is. I began to explain it, but I didn't complete the question. So what is ER? So ER means that we start at E and we end at R. So there's different ways to do that. We can go from E to P, then P to Q, then Q to R. Or we can go from E to S, then from S to R. So there's actually two ways that we can do this problem. Let us do that in those two ways, and you will see that we come with the same answer. All right. So what is ER? ER is, so let's move in this direction first. ER is going to be E plus EP, right? EP, right? Plus PQ plus QR. And so, what is the vector EP? Well, we saw that EP was negative a half of B minus A, so we'll have to put negative a half of B minus A, or B bar minus A bar. Now, what is the vector PQ? Well, PQ is equal to A, so it's going to be plus A, or plus A bar, and QR is going to be equal to B bar. Okay, so let us multiply. And so we have here negative a half times b bar. That's going to equals to negative a half b bar. And then we have negative a half times negative a. And so we have a negative here and a negative here. So it becomes a positive a half a bar. It's going to be plus a. And it's going to be plus b. Okay. And so now we can group the like terms. And so the like terms that we have is a. So a is a like term. So a is a like term with the half a. So these two are like terms. Okay, so let's put them together. So we have, as our like terms, we have the the half a, sorry, half a plus the a. So we have a half a plus a. And then we have the negative a half b. So negative a half b, negative a half b plus b. Okay, so let us evaluate these two. What is a half plus 1? Okay, what is a half plus 1? Because even though you don't see the 1 in front of the a, you can think of it as having an invisible 1 in front. So what is a half plus 1? Well, we know that this 1, sorry, we know that 1 is equal to 2 over 2. Again, 1 is 2 over 2 because 2 divided by 2 is still 1. So this is going to be equal to a half plus, remember 1 is actually 2 over 2. So we're going to write 2 over 2. So this is 2 over 2. Now they have the same denominator. And so we're going to say 2 plus 1, which is 3. And we keep the denominator. So it's going to be 2. So a half plus 1 is actually 3 over 2. Okay, now let us consider this. So it's going to be a half a plus 1a is actually going to be equal to 3 over 2. It's going to be equal to 3 over 2 a bar. Now, what is negative a half plus b? So let's do that. That's basically considering negative 1 over 2 plus 1. Now again, we do the same technique, right? We write back the negative 1, the negative a half, and we say what is 1? Well, 1 is again 2 over 2 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then we add the numerator. So what is negative 1 plus 2? Negative 1 plus 2 is equal to 1. And so this is going to be, and we keep the denominator, so this is going to be 2. So negative a half plus 1, negative a half plus 1 is equal to a half, or 1 over 2. So since that's the case, we have negative a half b plus b. So that's going to be equal to simply a half b. It's going to be equal to a half b. Okay? And so there we have it. We have what ER is. So ER is going to be equal to 3 over 2 plus a half b. And that's if we do it in this direction. If we go from E to P, then from P to Q, then from Q to R. There is also another way to do it, and we can do it by going in this direction. So if we do it in the next direction, now either one of these answers could work. If you want to do it this way, you can do it this way, or you can do it in this way, this next way I'm showing you. So what is ER? So ER equals ES the vector ES plus SR, okay, plus SR. So what is that? That's ES, all right? And then we go from E to S, then from S to R, and then we'll get ER. So from E to S, then from S to R. Now what is ES? Well, ES is going to be of because this is the midpoint, E is the midpoint, so ES is going to be half of B minus A. And it's not negative a half B minus A because we're going in the right direction. We're going downwards. And so this is going to be B minus A. So it's simply a half B minus A. Okay? And this is going to be equal to plus, what is SR? Well, SR is 2A. How do we know that? Right here, SR is 2A. Okay, good. And so we are left with, it's going to be equal to it's going to be equal to a half, right? A half B. So because we're multiplying the half by the B, and then it's going to be a half by negative A, a half times negative A, and that's going to be what? Negative a half A. Don't forget the bar. And then we're going to add 2A. So it's going to be plus 2A. Now, what is negative a half plus 2A? What is negative a half A plus 2A? So let's do that here. Negative a half plus 2. What is negative a half plus 2? Now for this one, this is the same thing as asking what is 2 minus a half. And this thing you can put in your calculator to get it. But what is a half? A half is simply 0.5. So we write that as negative 0.5 plus 2. And so we have basically 2, this is going to be equal to 2 minus 0.5. Again, you don't have to do it this way. You can just put in your calculator and you can get the answer. Because you are permitted to use calculator in the BGCSE. So 2 minus 0.5 is what? 1.5. Right? So 1.5. And 1.5 written as a fraction is what? What is 1.5 written as a fraction? So the decimal 1.5, how can we take the decimal 1.5 and express it as a fraction. Think of it. Think of it. What is 1.5 written as a fraction? 1.5 written as a fraction is 3 over 2. You can verify that. 1.5 written as a fraction is 3 over 2. So this is actually going to be equal to a half b, right? Plus, remember, negative a half a plus 2a is going to be equal to 3 over 2a. And there you can see, right? We get the same answer. Here we get 3 over 2a plus a half b. And again, we get the same thing, 3 over 2a plus a half b. So both of these answers are correct. So I'm going to pause right here, and then in the next part of this, I'm going to answer the question of stating two geometrical properties of P and Q and S are. Okay, so we're going to stop right here, and then in the next video, we're going to consider stating two geometrical properties of P, Q, and S are. In fact, I'm going to give you more, but they only ask for two. So see you in the next video, and so that we can complete the last portion of this particular exercise. So see you next time.